In Spanish, one of the most useful verbs you could possibly learn as a beginner learner is the verb tener, the verb to have. Now, the verb tener in its 6 forms of the present tense are
Tengo, tienes, tiene, tenemos, tenéis, tienen.
So we have tener, to have, the infinitive verb. Tengo, I have. Tienes, you have. Tiene, he or she or usted has. Tenemos, we have. Tenéis, you plural have. This one's only used in Spain. And tienen, they have, or ustedes, the you plural formal form, have. So you all have. And that's what's used instead of the vosotros form in Latin America. But don't go just yet, because it's all well and good knowing the verb tener, knowing how to use it in the present tense and maybe even in other tenses, but I'm going to show you a trick which will allow you, with these same conjugations, to learn loads of other verbs. For example, if I put de before it, detener, we have the verb to detain, detener, and all I need to do is add the same prefix to all of the conjugations, and I know this verb already. If I know this verb, tener, then I know detener. Detengo, I detain, detienes, and I can do the same with retain, the verb to retain. Retener, información, to retain information. Retengo, yo retengo información. Retienes, you retain. I can do the same with con. What do you think contener means? To contain. All these verbs ending in tain, you can see the Latin link here with English. To contain, contener, contengo. Contengo multitudes, I contain multitudes. Contengo. So you've just learned 3 new words, 3 new verbs with all of their possible conjugations with your existing knowledge of how to conjugate the verb tener. And there's some similar tricks with verbs like poner, the verb to put. You've also got componer, to compose, descomponer, to decompose, proponer, to propose, disponer, to dispose of something in a sense of making something available, and other verbs like venir, the verb to come, like convenir, to be convenient, prevenir, to prevent, or to warn somebody. So this is a trick that when you see a verb with de, con, or re at the start, first don't think, oh, I've never seen that verb before. First, see what happens if you get rid of the prefix, because it might just lead you to realize you know what the other verb means. It's quite interesting in English that we have contain, retain, but then actually the verb to have, it's coming from a completely different root. It's coming from the German haben. On my website, you can find a free preterite irregular cheat sheet, and on page 3 of this resource, you will find some of these patterns that don't just work in the preterite, they work in all of the tenses. If you know how to conjugate venir in the future tense, then you know how to conjugate convenir or prevenir in the future tense, and so on.